Ladies and gentlemen, this might come to a lot of you as a shock. So earlier today, Verydarkman had reported that Bobrisky has been arrested by border control. According to him, Bobrisky was on his way out of Nigeria. Bobrisky was on the run. He said this arrest happened somewhere around Seme border to Nigeria. Now, we have not seen any media house cover this story as deep and as clear as people are expecting it. Only Verydarkman came up with this. Well, is Bobrisky escaping so as not to appear in the presence of the committee instituted by the HOR, House of Representatives? Now, let us keep that one aside. The latest update that dropped, in which I said you might be shocked a bit. The panel that was instituted released on Monday, 24th of October, 2024, this report. According to them, there is no evidence to support claims that Bobrisky spent part of his 6-month prison sentence outside Kirikiri Correctional Center. I have said it times without number, and a lot of people thought I was making up this, or maybe I'm not connecting the dots. The thing is this: famsing someone, meaning you are trying to familiarize yourself or trying to move in the direction of a person because you believe this person is the voice of the people, does not mean that you should not do what they call due diligence. You cannot throw away your thinking cap somewhere. There are certain things that are true, but you will not get justice on it unless due diligence is done. And the problem is this: in what way and how and where would that due diligence be done? There are people who are not in prison today, and there are people who are in prison. Those in prison might be there for crimes they didn't commit, and those that are outside of prison might be set loose for crimes they committed. This is the mystery of the judiciary. Everything is based on evidence. Dr. Uju Agoma, Executive Director of Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action, PRAWA, presented the findings at the Ministry of Interior. According to Dr. Uju, the panel did not find any evidence thus far that suggested that Mr. Okuneye slept outside the custodial center during the period of his imprisonment. Now, Bobrisky had been sentenced on April the 12th, 2024 for naira mutilation, and according to what we also, it was released on August the 5th, 2024. Now, having served his term with the standard remission, the investigation followed allegations from online police, Verydarkman, who accused Bobrisky of spending his sentence in a lodge rather than at the Kirikiri facility, citing influence from a powerful godfather. You all know the story, you know how it all went down. Verydarkman got an audio from a guy called Radio Guard. He is also a blogger, and this guy had been chatting with Bobrisky. Both of them have been exchanging intimate chats and talks, and people are even thinking what this guy does. Like, this guy, you're a married man. Are you into also the buy thing? This guy said he had asked for money from Bobrisky, and Bobrisky has refused to give money. Well, there is this issue of 4 million naira. Bobrisky gave this guy 4 million naira. According to this guy, he had helped Bobrisky in time past by being in support of Bobrisky. We don't really get some of this detail. Maybe it's a dirty one, or he just simply wanted to corner Bobrisky. I don't really get it between these two guys. But let us keep their own story somewhere. The important part in this whole story is this: if an audio is gotten where someone could be heard saying some unbelievable or certain incriminating or deliberately trying to create some false, or maybe really saying his own truth, either confessing or whatever it is that anyone can call it, as long as you have evidence, you can come out, speak about it. And if you don't have evidence, you can call out this person and say, we heard this person said this, please let us investigate, which I think that is what Verydarkman did. It's not as if he has evidence an audio recording, unless he's unlearned in the judiciary and how legal operations, that's not enough for you. But then it's a start. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It's a start. Investigation should have been done thoroughly to find out if Bobrisky spent time in prison. Now, what are the process of investigating such? People have said, okay, let us find out the call log of Bobrisky all the time he was in prison. After all, he was not supposed to have his phone in prison. The question is this: do certain VIP prisoners have access to their phones at a certain period, or even prisoners in general? Yes, in prison, you have access to call once in a day or twice in a week, depending on the protocol of the prison. Are you allowed to make use of the phone of the prison, or you are allowed to have access to your own phone? That I don't know. But you all know how things are. They will not allow themselves to pay for your call. It's not like how it is done in countries where things work. No, they don't operate that way. You will be brought a phone and you pay for it, or you might be given access to your phone for that period of time. Now, if Bobrisky is paying for a VIP section, which he is not supposed to pay for according to the United Nations Charter, a certain section of the prison should be created for persons who are at risk of being whatever, attacked or whatever. And Bobrisky, who has shaped his body this way, definitely he knows that if he is to go into the prisons where men who have not seen women, or men who are, according to what one of the prison ministers said, he said there are certain men in that prison that are crazily, maniacally, he described them as terrible homosexuals anyway. So the thing is Bobrisky could not be allowed to stay in there. Like, a lot of people wanted Bobrisky to be in that particular part of the prison so that he can learn the hard way. But things don't work because you just thought about it. There are certain protocols, particularly if you now have money to grace the hands of certain prison officials. They would rather want to have that money in their hands, even though Bobrisky's lawyer could request for a special part of the prison, VIP, which must be accepted after, according to what the prison officials said. They said they had done some physical exam on Bobrisky, and the doctor who had done the exam came with a report saying Bobrisky had done some surgery to have features that could be seen as what you will find on a woman, even though Bobrisky is a biological male. Now, these were the things that were presented at the HOR committee, in which Verydarkman attended. He pointed to certain things that he wants the HOR or the police to investigate. One, like I said earlier, the call log of Bobrisky, to know who and who Bobrisky contacted. But Bobrisky has made it easier. Bobrisky said that he had called certain people who had helped him when he needed financial support. Was Bobrisky scamming all of those people that he called? There is a possibility, telling them he needed this, he needed that. This elaborate story could be a scam. But is that enough to nail Bobrisky? No. You need to understand how the law works, not being uneducated about the process and how you can lock somebody up. It does not work that way. Bobrisky can never be arrested unless there are evidence that points to Bobrisky not spending time in jail, such as someone took a picture or a video close to the apartment that Bobrisky lived, and we can ascertain time stamp on it. That's one. If that is not possible, how are we sure that Bobrisky did not stay in the VIP section? Two, how can we process this? If the prisons, let us assume that they took money. Let us assume, are they going to show evidence? Now, talk about CCTV. Is there a functioning CCTV at the prison? Suppose it's supposed to be like a functioning CCTV. This could also be looked into to know when Bobrisky got in and the time frame that is being looked at. These are what should be done also. But will those politicians do it? They won't. Who knows? Maybe one day they will find themselves there. They want to be treated fairly, and they also want to have a space to hide in case. So if this is a practice, then they will want to dig deeper. So these are the areas that I am expecting them to have looked into. CCTV to confirm the integrity. And don't forget that we have a committee that is to look into prison issues. So these are what I expected them to look into. But if the prison does not have a CCTV, then that would be an exercise in futility. We will not be able to address it. We will not be able to get answers. But they said, no, Bobrisky came into prison and is in prison and he stayed in the VIP section of the prison. End of story. This is the prison saying it. So, Verydarkman coming out to talk and say because Bobrisky said, then Bobrisky should be held responsible. Bobrisky could be scamming anybody. And he ended up saying this is an artificially generated voice and that it is not his own, that there is nothing of such. And this other guy lives abroad. It's not as if himself and Bobrisky met and there is a video of Bobrisky, both of them talking. And even at that, it could also be manipulated artificially. So it's a difficult terrain that we are on right now as a result of technology. But then, investigation can be done on the phone of Bobrisky to find out, forensic investigation, to know what and what Bobrisky did. Also, if there is no audio recording with the network, the carrier, service provider of Bobrisky, how can we? Now, about the Femi Falana and Falz the bad guy, they have made it clear this is what happened. Bobrisky called my son, and this is what Bobrisky said, that he needed money. And he has been calling, and before then, Bobrisky already thanked the number of people, including Don Jazzy, that donated into Bobrisky's, Verydarkman's charity. And that a lot of them are donated to him to the tune of maybe 100 million naira. The guy just kept calling people. Do we like what Bobrisky is doing as a trans or whatever? We don't. About this godfather. Who is this godfather? Some people are saying maybe it's very dark black man donor. The person who donated, Don Jazzy. We are all aware of the so-called list presented by the so-called Jesus lover. We're all aware of it, aren't we? Don Jazzy's name is included. But then, we are not going by someone trying to blackmail people because they are no longer dancing to their tune. After all, they said Sheikh Bateri and Bush Baby might be, or they are the ones behind Jesus lover. Regardless, if they are or they are not. The thing is this, for Bobrisky to serve time in prison again, it will be more than an audio recording where he's saying that his godfather helped him and he got presidential pardon. According to lawyer Falana, he said there is nothing like presidential pardon gotten for Bobrisky, not with him, and there was no call between himself and Bobrisky, and he didn't help Bobrisky in any way, and that all that came out from Bobrisky is a lie. So, if there is no presidential pardon coming from any quarters where presidential pardons are presented anywhere, it means that some of the stories that Bobrisky presented are all lies. He simply said some of these things to extort money. He's just a guy, man, having female features artificially done on him. Nothing more. He's a guy, man. Simple as ABC. And nothing more. Is there an iota of truth in some of the things I said, such as he bribed this and that? It is possible. Very possible. We all know how our prisons are. And the EFCC thing. It's possible that he might have bribed some people. But we don't know who he bribed, how much he bribed, and all of that. What are your thoughts about this one? Drop your comment. See you guys in the next update.